Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for Monday, March 31st. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have an announcement for the electronic subscriber feature on the new website. The new website will be up and running tomorrow morning. We're making that change over tonight at about 8 o'clock. I wouldn't try to go to the site directly at 8 o'clock, maybe give it a half an hour or so for propagation to take place. If you do try to access it and you retain the old information for the old site, be a few hours for you to get the new information, or you'll have to reboot your PC. So anytime around 8:30, 9 o'clock, you should be able to go to www.mendonma.gov and get the new virtual town hall website. This electronic subscriber feature on the new website, you would actually click on the home button, or you should already be at the, if you're not on the home page, that will get you to the home page. There's a button to subscribe to news, enter your email address, and choose from a list of urgent alerts, agendas, minutes, or news and announcements by department or committee. So you'll be able to drill down to pretty much exactly what you want information on, and you will get the updates on those as they come out. We have an item here to discuss the building inspector's salary. He's not here yet. I know that I've spoken with him. We discussed it briefly last week. I know that Mr. Schofield has had numerous conversations with him, and it's just one of those items that were on the agenda for correction. Again, just to touch on, unless this is him coming up now. Wait one second. It is. Come on down, Tim.
What an entrance.
Good evening. What's happening?
Hello.
So, we was just touching on that agenda item, as far as the salary for the building inspector, who is you. We've had a few conversations about it. We did discuss it at the last meeting, and I know that you've had numerous conversations with Mr. Schofield in regards to funding. He's not here at the moment. So there's been, again, obviously, for a very long time, Mendon had kind of gotten away with not paying a lot for that position. And looking at area communities, the like communities, it's very underfunded. Our current building inspector, Tim Icardi, has not asked for an increase while he evaluated the office. He just went along with what we were currently paying in that area, but has also, in his valuation, been able to tell us where the deficiencies lie. Made some major adjustments in the building department to get things up to date, up to speed, and also clear up any issues that we had. I mean, there was, and again, in speaking with him, there was a lot of issues that were going on down there that, and not anything that was more just, I'm not blaming anybody.
Updating.
Yeah, it was more, everything was just kind of outdated. This might have been missing from this file, but then was found and put in the correct file. And again, it's not anybody that worked in that office that really
No, just
caused any problems.
procedure, up to date kind of thing.
Sure. In the discussions that, we've been having, I personally see the need to change the salary there. However, funding is an issue at the moment. So I think that, and again, Rich isn't here and he can speak to this a lot better, but I think he has it on the horizon of the big picture that he has going on as far as how to maybe increase this to get this to the right place without having to, give it all in one big swoop. I forget the actual, what is the difference between what we're paying out? Is it, so the salary should be somewhere in the 60s, right?
Yeah, for comparing all the area towns, I would say the average is probably 60, okay? It depends on the size of the town, but, towns that are basically a lot like Mendon, that's the general area, yeah.
Where are we at now?
I think 20, 15? What budget?
17, I think.
Yeah, it was a big gap.
It's 5,000 for a stipend, and then it's so much per percentage of permit. It's 15% on the percentage of permit. Some towns do it on permit fees. They'll do, like, Plainville, I think, is like 60% of the permit fee. That's how they pay their inspector. So if it's not busy, with building and stuff, he's not doing, he's not running around,
Inspecting.
right, in that portion of his job, so that's a slower part of his job, so obviously the permit fees are down, so his pay is down. He must have, I think he has a stipend too. I don't have all the paperwork with me for all the area towns, but I can,
Yeah.
supply that if you guys want to look at it, but I looked at Plainville, I looked at Upton, I looked at Milford, Plainville, Upton, Millville, Uxbridge, and Medway, I think.
Okay. Milford's,
Those are right on, you can go on their websites.
right, yeah, Milford's just a tough one to compare to.
Yeah.
Just because of the size.
Size, right.
But
But it's a lot higher in pay, so I mean, if you
well,
do it by scale,
oh, by
yeah.
percentage-wise, it might
Yeah.
be correct. So again, I don't know, I think that I wanted to have this conversation with Rich here as well, and,
I've been talking to Rich,
but I think that since we've kind of booked the meeting, that I think that there's been some more of an understanding of look, we're gonna do the best we can to
Right,
try to,
right.
and as fast as we can to try to make this adjustment, because, so this is what we're up against, so if we, so again, we had a very long time where we were,
Well, I mean, we talked about this last time, right? And I thought where we landed was, we generally agreed that something needs to be done. But we also probably put this at the top of the list in terms of areas of focus, in terms of overall, this sounds like a bigger ask, and probably a more needed ask from what I'm hearing than maybe 5 hours here, 6 hours there.
Oh.
But in terms of, when the town administrator comes on, to kind of pull that together in terms of an overall
Yep.
assessment.
Yep.
So,
and she starts, roughly May 1st, slightly before. So I would imagine that, and again, the items that you've actually, Rich is, I think, I talked to him last night, he came up with some ideas of, chunking it out where there's, when we can, and not necessarily waiting on a year's basis, saying that, okay, look, we can fit this in now, let's put another chunk in there. So, I mean. again,
no,
the
I mean, I
board's-
think, I agree that we're looking to do something. I think the work you've done is going to be invaluable in sort of understanding where we need to get to. If Rich has had some additional thinking, I'd love to hear it. So is this a question of timing, or the question of what the solution will be, or it's a question of both at this time, from from the board standpoint? Or from your expectation, Tim?
Well, I think, I was under the understanding that FY15, there was going to be something in the budget for it. But in talking to Rich now and obviously all the shortfalls, it's taken a sidestep here, I took the job based on, I'll come in and I'll do it for the amount that has always been, the formula, based on, it would be reviewed, and they can get it up to, we can get it up to a standard, pay scale with everybody else. I understand what's going on with the town and everything, but, on the other hand, too, is, I can't work for nothing, and it takes a
Understood.
lot of time, running around and all the different stuff.
Yep.
So, it's to a point now where, I'm glad we're talking about it, and, Rich is trying to find some solutions to it. We've talked back and forth, and he understands, and I'm sure the board does as well, that, it's a lot of work, and it's a real position.
And in my opinion, based upon the conversations that I've had with Rich, is that although it's not in the Article 4 budget that's going to the floor, that there's going to be and again, what the amount is, I don't know, to be able to, and like I said, step increasing it when funds are available. I don't think that you're gonna see it's gonna go up. And I don't think the idea is that it would go up $10,000 per year for the next, 6 years. I think what you're going to see is okay, hey, there's with the board's agreement, obviously, that there's an amount of, and again, this amount is arbitrary. I'm not-
right.
That there's 20 grand here, and we can put it towards that position right now. And then 6 months down the road, or in the next budgeting cycle, there's another 20,000 that's gonna be put in there. And again, the other thing that I've been discussing with everybody as we've gone on, through these financial discussions, is that this year, and I think that Rich would agree, and I believe that you guys will agree, that this year that we're in right now was the last year that we had to kind of put the pieces back that had fallen out when we went through the real budget downfall. And now that we've got those pieces back together, you'll be able to see that the next year, there's gonna be a different size bucket to be able to now make adjustments, make repairs, do things now that, because everything is back to normal. So, there is the issue with the school.
I agree. I mean, some semblance of normalcy.
Right,
To this
exactly.
cycle.
So, I mean, look, I'm on my way out the door, so it's
Stop smiling when you say that.
it's frustrating. This is almost a very frustrating
Yeah.
time to be made. You guys will see it someday, I guess, because I've worked with you so long on it, and I don't want to, I would like to just see it done before I walked out the door, but I just don't think it's going to be done in 4 weeks. I think that with the town administrator coming on, that's going to be super helpful, and I think that, Rich being in the loop on everything, all these discussions is very helpful for the transition, because now he has all the ideas and he can work with these, with these guys to make it happen. I know I personally don't want to see you walk out the door right now. I can only ask you to hang in there a short time longer to see how it goes. I'm pretty confident that it's going to work out, because, if you leave, that somebody else is gonna come in and they're gonna be asking for the same thing, and we're probably not gonna get anybody, right off the bat. They're gonna wanna wait till it's done. Tim being from town and being the assistant inspector for so long, has a little bit more pride, I think, in how it works and how it happens, and willing to work. So I can only ask you just to hang in a short time longer. But I also understand that you can't work for free.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, but you know what, we need to talk about it, and it's a real thing, and, it's my turn. Everybody else has gotten the monies, fire department, police department, this is a real department. It
Yep.
starts with public safety, it's mandated by the state, it starts here, and then they enforce it, If you don't have the start for it, everyone's going backwards.
I would agree.
Understood.
All right, great. Thank you so much for coming down.
So, I will be meeting with Mike anyway, and, with, Rich.
Yeah.
And, we've been trying to go back and forth. I'm getting him numbers on certain things, and he's trying to.
Good. And again, I think that's the best place to be, just because he's gonna have, he knows
Yep.
where the best place to get it, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for coming
Thanks.
in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Annual town meeting warrant? Unless do you have anything further on that?
Did we just not get something in the budget? In the original budget? I'm just more curious if there was an FY15 expectation.
There might have been.
Wasn't an ask, but then
I
it was
think it might have
pulled
been an
out?
ask, and then I think was one of the items that was pulled out. And
Okay.
maybe one of those ones that shouldn't have, but again, everybody's working together to try to.
Yep.
To make it happy. Annual town meeting warrant?
Do we want to review it? It's here for signature.
We have the typical articles here. Article 2, it's the motion for out of order. We have salaries for elected officials. Article 3, Article 4 is the money article. 5, 6, 7, all typical money articles as far as valuations. 8, 9, 10. Source, police department, federal, matching grants. 12. These are all pretty standard stuff. CPC, what's this? Okay, they have, there is an article on here for refinishing the hardwood floors down on the first floor of this building from CPC because we're able to, for historical funds, and that's not to exceed 13,500.
Excuse me? I was, Ann called me earlier today to confirm the amount of money that was included in that. And what we didn't include in that was the cost of providing lunch for the sheriff's department
And I,
people.
okay, and I don't know that money can come out of there
Oh, really?
anyhow. I think that
Somewhere else.
Okay.
what we'll see there is, if we, I want to say there's a small line item in the budget for that already. If not, we'll
Find it.
find
Okay.
lunch, we'll get the lunch donated,
Okay.
trust me.
Okay,
We'll get somebody to buy lunch. I'll buy for a day.
okay, I've got that in the record.
Where? I didn't know.
I'll, don't.
Back up the DVD. Like, we have a couple ADA upgrades with CPC money for, because again, there are they're historical improvements. So we'll be able to make the town beach, town hall, two pieces of the town hall, more accessible for ADA, to be within line with the requirements of ADA. There's, some pretty nice stuff gonna happen, gonna change a little bit of the look of the front of the building with that ramp that's out there now. It's gonna go back to the kind of, the original look of the building. They're gonna fix the broken down wall on the side over here. Possibly, I don't know if it's 100% yet, but there possibly even a set of stairs coming where the ramp comes down, that will actually come up to the front door level. Again, that has nothing to do with ADA, that's just making it accessible so you don't have to walk in the street to get to the front door. And then we'll be making the main entrance, or the downstairs entrance, fully handicap accessible, to be able to have full access to the elevator, to be able to get to any floor. An adjustment to possibly some more land for the solar to get to the 3 megawatts, if that's needed. We have an article for BVT's added programs and expansion.
There's also a ballot vote.
They're right,
On
because
the-
that's a
on the
debt
front-
exclusion.
On the front, under Article 1, the ballot vote is
Oh, yeah.
listed as question 1.
Yeah, that's for a debt exclusion. Slight change to meeting postings for the town clerk in the general bylaws. We have a zoning bylaw. It's rather lengthy. Again, this is trying to just keep on with the fact that we're trying to get the zoning bylaws adjusted correctly. We have another Board of Selectmen meeting, Board of Selectmen's change for the general bylaws. What's that?
I had noticed that one of the,
Oh, that's just a fix.
well, yeah, one of the bylaws referenced an outdated Mass General law, so I talked to Brandon Moss, and he suggested some wording to correct that, so it's updated.
Okay, so this will be to adjust our general bylaws to to reference the state law correctly. We have a planning board, another zoning bylaw change for the inclusionary bylaw.
How many acres, just curious, how many acres did we, is the back half of the Taft Orchard parcel that was originally we approved for solar?
Does 12 sound right?
11?
I have it written down.
11?
So we just want to double check this 10 acres for another half a meg,
Who asked for 10?
the article. Approximately 10 acres.
10 for a half?
No, it shouldn't have been.
Right, so,
Yeah,
I thought they said they only needed like 3 or 4.
Well, it said up to,
I think that, I mean, again, I don't want to, well, what's left in the front half, isn't the whole thing 10? No.
no, it's more than that. But
I mean,
the rear is 16 acres.
so
I just want to make sure we're accurate, because what I don't want people to do is, see
Okay,
it scope creep, you know what I mean?
Sure. So what I think, and again, I don't know, I'm sure that somebody, put the wording correctly, but I think that what I originally had mentioned was just don't put a number in there because we put it in the motion.
Okay.
When we find out exactly what we need. So, well, I don't think we should adjust this just for that. I
So
think
for the
that
motion, we can change it?
It says up to 10, right? Yeah, so we can, in the motion, if we only need one, we just say, well.
Yeah, people just say, you
Yeah,
thought it was in the back.
Yeah, right. Again, this would only be for a very small portion. The way that I understood it, and this was in the initial conversations that I even had with them, was that we would need a very small piece. We would stuff it in the back corner of the lot against the transmission lines, and then make sure that we can get the conduit, whatever needs to be under the ground to get over to there.
Agreed. I'm with you.
Yeah, okay, and that's how I.
That's to accommodate if Upton wants
we
to
want to-
join in.
Right.
Again, I don't know, again, I think that Upton's a word that we use just because they've mentioned it.
Or maybe just
This would-
another-
This would need to get the full 3 megawatt.
I think Northeast said they'll find a purchaser if
It's there.
we approve it.
Yep, all right.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get thrown away.
Okay.
So, speedy annual town warrant discussion?
So we got to it, right? So, I move to sign the May 2nd, 2014 annual town meeting warrant pending town council review.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
My last annual town meeting signature.
Maybe it's just gonna be a break, Lonnie. Maybe you're gonna take some time off and come back. You never know. Or maybe you do know.
I do know. Only if you guys mess everything up.
No pressure, guys.
Now, see, there's a chance of that, so.
I doubt it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
this never happened.
there is a couple more things. So we have,
Letter of support for the CPC funding?
yeah, so this is the CPC funding. And the CPA application, do these both go together? The letter and the one thing?
It was more for your information. I emailed both of those to you.
Yep.
Printed out a copy as well.
I move to to sign a letter of support to spend an amount not to exceed $810 the Community Preservation Historical Account to repair the damage inside wall of Town Hall.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Would we want town council at ATM?
I don't know.
I say yes.
Yeah, me too.
It's kind of a tradition.
I say no. Yeah, no, he usually comes. I would have him come.
So Diane, do we need, we don't need Wednesday's meeting now, because you got your signature, right?
Excellent.
When's our next meeting?
April 7th?
Can we not do executive session tonight?
We
I
cannot.
have it on there.
Yeah, it's not on
Well,
there.
if it wasn't anticipated, then you need it.
Can we to the 7th?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I was just gonna, just update on the, that'll actually give me time, so what we can do is, actually, we'll kill two birds with one stone on the 7th, because that's when we'll discuss, the fire department's gonna come in early, we're gonna do executive session at 7 with them.
Okay.
We don't have any hearings, right?
Correct.
Yeah, let's do it at 7 with them, so the regular meeting will start at 7:30, so we'll have executive session for half an hour.
You have to open in regular session.
And
Yeah,
go into
go
it,
in,
yeah.
and then we'll come back, but I think that we'll be okay with, a half an hour. Actually, just make it 45 minutes, just to be on the safe side.
Okay.
To 7:45, just so that we can,
So that gives people an audience, they can come later on
Yes.
that meeting.
7:45, next selectmen's meeting. Somebody's coming? Sorry, Mrs. Schofield, you're extremely late, and you will be reprimanded. Do not leave the meeting, please. We're done, we're just wrapping up. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everybody, thanks.